Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Hey, today I'm going to get back on the modifications to the shop press. We're gonna beef up the horizontal up above the jack, and we're gonna put an inch plate in and a 3/4 inch plate, and they're gonna go almost the full length, the span between the two C channels up there at the top. The other one, the factory one, just barely would span the two pieces, and I just don't think that is secure enough. So we'll remove it and put the new ones in, then we'll test it. And I've got the jack in, so after we test it with the old 20-ton, then we'll put the new 32-ton in and see if that makes a difference too. So let's get down there and get started on this. Okay guys, I've got a used, well-used pin, and this is not a good crank, but the hole that the pin come out of is in good shape. And I just took this pin over and cleaned it on the Scotch-Brite a little bit. So I'll just go ahead and lube up like I usually would with some thin oil. I just want to see what this is, see if we've made any headway with this press modification. And a little oil on the pin too. All right. Okay, I'm going to pump this by hand so I can kind of hear it, see what we... I can feel a little pop there every time I start the stroke. You can hear it now, I think. See, there's a little bit every time I start again, but I'm not getting that. Yeah, I'm starting to get a little pop. Yeah, there it is. All right. Okay, guys. The stiffening, well, the panels we put on the side helped a lot. It really did. But as I got tighter and tighter into that pull, or into that pushing that pin in, it started popping more. So we're still not there. And I had a couple of gentlemen give me some good suggestions. And the one gentleman said that he's got one like this, and he says that where the top of the jack goes into the top, that is it bends some up there. Even though that is a piece of inch plate, it seems like it's a little short. It just barely catches the two C channels that are up there. So I went back and I looked, and I've got a piece of 3/4 that I flame cut out. I'm going to try that. I'm going to take the inch out, put the 3/4 in, and then attach the inch to the 3/4, and hopefully that'll spread out the contact a little bit more and help with that. And another gentleman talked about, he actually talked about building up the horizontal areas too, and thought that maybe a larger jack would help too. So I was able to find a 32 ton on eBay. So I wanted to stay with a air over hydraulic because it helps a lot. It's handier. I could have got a 40 ton without that, but I just didn't see one with the air over hydraulic. So I went ahead and got that. It's coming, so we'll see. But the first thing we're going to do is you can see right here. This is the inch plate that they've got on there, but you can see it just barely touches this channel right here. The back side is a little bit more. So what I've got in mind is I'm going to cut this out and take the 3/4, and it will extend out here almost to the full width, and then place this back on top of the 3/4 and try to center it a little bit better. And that'll give us the 3/4 and the inch up there, which should help quite a bit. And then when the other jack comes in, then we'll try that. But I'm going to try everything that I do so you can tell what actually helps. And that way, if you've got a problem, you won't have to go through all the stuff maybe that I have. So I've got the piece of 3/4 down here, and I've got it flame cut, just something I had. And this is really hard on end mill, trying to true this up. So I'm going to grind it off a little bit, and then I'm going to take it back over to the Bridgeport and just clean up the edge. But this stuff is really hard on tooling. So I'm just setting this up just quick. It's I'm lucky I've got two flat sides, or reasonably flat, that I can get it set up close. I'm not going to worry about it down to the gnat's butt. Just get it as close as I can. Wasn't exactly straight with my torch, but it's not too bad. And there again, it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, so I've got that pretty well cleaned up. I'll hit it with the sander just to clean off the edge. And you know, the more I got to thinking about it, since that piece of 1 inch is a little too short, I went ahead and called my steel supplier, and the size that I need in 1 inch is not too bad a price. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick that up. So I'll get it in 11 inch, this is 10.5. So this will set on top of the 1 inch and weld to it. So that way I'll have 1 inch all the way across the two C structures at the top, and then this here will add to the thickness underneath that. So that instead of 1 inch, it'll give us 1 3/4 at the top plate all the way across. Okay, this is my new 1 inch piece, and it's going all the way from web to web. Whereas this one here, that came from the factory, it just barely got to this C-frame out here. So we're gonna weld this one on. I've already got the other side welded. Then we're gonna take the 3/4 inch piece and weld it to here. That should get, I've got everything pulled up tight against the upper C-frames. And I'll also weld them up here too when I get it up. But, I think this alone is gonna be an improvement over the original. And then I add 3/4 of an inch to it. I think we'll be a lot more rigid. And it's welded completely across that C-frame. So that's, you know, it's just holding it up there. But if you push in the middle and it's not fastened good out here, that's what's going to cause it to flex in the middle. So I think this is going to be a big improvement. Okay guys, we've just got I've got the new plate up here, stretches all the way across. The light's a little rough. Okay, I'm going to try it now with that modification done. And again, we'll just put a little oil on the pin and in the crank, and we'll see how this does. Okay, again, I'll go ahead and pump this by hand just so we can kind of tell. Still some popping, but it's not, it just pops when you start. Okay, now it's starting to get further in, it's getting tighter. Wow, I think that's helped a lot. Yeah, we're not getting all that jumping that we used to get. That is a big improvement. Okay, I've got my new jack in, so the next thing that we do, I'm going to get the new jack installed in here, and then we're going to try that. So let me go ahead and I'll push this one out because we'll be needing to do that. Here we go. Okay, So let me get this one out and we'll get the new one in. And this is a 20 ton we've got, and we've got a 32 ton for the new one. Okay, kind of block this up so I can get this jack out, get the other one in. I hope my little T-handle will work on the other one. I think it will. And I'm going to have to weld the little stopper up there too. Okay, this item here, I had to stretch it out a little. That'll get welded back up here, just kind of a retainer. We'll check the jack out before we do that. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get it to work here. Oh, it's a lot quieter. Yeah, it's a lot quieter. Don't know whether that really matters, but let me see if I can get the T-handle off and get it swapped over. Okay, I'm gonna have to modify my T-handle a little bit. It's a bigger hole. Looks like the slots are the same, but I'm just gonna have to drill the inside out to a bigger hole for this. That should work. So first thing we'll do is we'll just use it with the handle. And let me go ahead and get the crankshaft ready. Okay, go ahead and do the same thing. Try to keep things as consistent as we can. Of course, I realize we're getting this is being pressed in and out of this thing more than it was ever supposed to be. Okay, now back with the handle on the jack. Kind of a shadow there. Let me see if I can get some more light. Hopefully you can see a little better. Okay, let's see what it does. I believe that's an improvement too. Still got to pop every time you start over. But see, that's not a problem. Once you're trying to show you both. Let me back you up here a little bit. Okay, I just want so you can tell what I'm doing up here too. When we first start out, you'll hear it pop. but then it's smooth for the rest of that pump. So if you're trying to get it closer without it popping, it does pop a little more as you get further in because it's getting tighter. A lot more controllable. Okay, that's it. Okay, you know, it's not perfect for any stretch of the imagination, but it's so much better than it was. You know, before you would, I'll try to find some of the footage from one of the other videos where I was pressing one of these things so we can have more to compare it to. This is so much better, and you know, it's not just the plate up here, you know, the bigger plate, the thickness, but it's also the side plates, and probably the jack is the least amount of improvement, but I believe there is some. So out of those three things, I'm seeing a huge amount of improvement over control, pushing these things in. So I think it's beneficial to have done it all, and I just think it is. I think that all three items, the side plates, the jack, and the upper horizontal beef up, has all made a markable difference. So I'll see if I can get a piece of that and put in so you'll have something to really compare to. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and push this back out. Oops, looks like I'm off a little bit. Oops, I must not have the jack tight. Nope. All right, let's try it again. This keeps backing up. I didn't have the valve tight. You know, probably a lot of the rattle you're hearing is the other plates sitting up here. See, they're kind of moving over. So let me get these off of there. Okay, let's press it back in. You're probably just hearing a lot of that. Those other plates rattling around there. What to do with all that? There it is. All right. Get the handle back out. A lot more control. There it is. Do it with the handle here. All right, a lot better, guys, a lot better. No doubt about it. Okay guys, I'm going to run an old one where I was putting the crankshaft together and this new one back to back over and over, just so you can see the difference that's made here. Okay guys, I think we've made a vast improvement with this thing. It's so much more controllable, not near the jerk that it had before. And I think it's a combination of the two. When I put the side plates on, I saw quite of an improvement at that point, but it still wasn't there. And then we came up here and we put the double plate up here and made it extend. Lighting is a problem here. We made it extend the whole width of the C channels, from C channel to C channel. The old one just barely made it between the two. So we've made quite a bit of an improvement there. And then lastly, we put the 32-ton jack in, and this was not an expensive item. I give $100 for this shipped to my door. It's a Vevor, and they're coming out with some really good products here lately. Like I say, I bought this one, but I know that they've been doing some advertisement on YouTube, and for what I've seen, like some of the cutting bits and that sort of thing, they're really good stuff for not a lot of money. And this one here seems like it may be a little slower, but it's a lot quieter, and the extra tonnage sure helps, I think. I did, when I got this in, I checked the oil here, and when I pop this out, you want to make sure that you have your safety glasses on, because a lot of air pressure comes up out of there. So they want you to take that out and then just pump it, I think 6 to 8 times or something, and that is to relieve all that pressure. And then when I looked across in there with a flashlight, I could see the oil level was low. So I went ahead and used hydraulic jack oil and filled it completely up and installed the plug. So, and everything was good after that. No error or anything. So so far I'm happy with it. The more I use it, I'm sure the happier I'll be. But like I say, it seems a little slower, but that's okay, as long as it gets the job done. And I'm going to have to come in here and drill this hole out a little bit more to fit this bigger bolt or whatever that goes in there for my T-handle. But the slots look like they'll work just fine. Yep. I just make this and put a little Allen wrench here, little set screw in it, so I can tighten it up against the side, and it works real good. So anyhow, I'm real happy with this. I think it's going to work for me now. So there you go, guys. I think it's a success. You know, I'm sure it's not perfect, and when I really get into some big crankshafts or big pressings, you know, I don't just do crankshafts, but that seems to be the majority of my work over here. I'm sure that I'll get into some that are tight or tighter, and I don't know, some problems crop up. I don't know. But as of right now, I'm extremely happy with what we've done by beefing up the side channels, and I put the double plate. It had an inch plate on top, and I decided to put another inch one on top. I think that piece cost me about $36, 11 by 8 by 1. And I had a piece of 3/4 out back that I squared up and put on top of it. So we went from 1 inch that just barely made it across the C channels to 1 inch that goes all the way across the C channels and the 3/4 on top of it. And then welded that all in, and then of course the heavier jack, this being a 32 ton. So I'm happy with it. I'll be doing a crankshaft pretty soon, so you'll get to see it in action. So hey, thanks for going along on the ride. See you next video.